Elena Drake's designer heels glided across the red carpet, each step a calculated measure of poise and power.
She can't be on my show.
Ivy's words came through clenched teeth as her hand tightened around Logan's arm.
Tell me this is some sick joke.
Logan watched Elena work the crowd ahead of them, his stomach in freefall. Just a few weeks ago, she'd been a mouse of a woman, bending to his every whim. Now she commanded the red carpet like she owned it. Gus Van Dam and Marty Fisher, the executive producers of Game of Hearts, hovering by her side. Logan grimaced. I'll handle this. But Ivy's grip held him in place.
Like hell you will.
She plastered on a smile as Craig Davidson, president of Apex Network, cut through the crowd. His arm was already extended toward Elena. A practiced grin spread across his face.
The woman of the hour. Welcome to the family.
His handshake was firm, deliberate.
I trust Gus and Marty have been taking good care of you.
Elena matched his corporate warmth degree for degree.
Absolutely. They've made me feel right at home.
Gus materialized beside Logan and Ivy, clapping Logan's shoulder. Fantastic turnout tonight. Ivy, we need you for some photos with the full cast, including our newest addition. His grin stretched wide as he gestured toward Elena. Ivy's perfectly manicured nails dug deeper into Logan's arm.
Logan!
Ivy's shrill tone pierced through the noise, pulling Logan's attention back to her.
Do something!
Logan's gaze shifted back to Elena, who now stood laughing with Craig Davidson and several other prominent executives.
How did this happen? Who decided she should be on the show?
Ivy's frustration was boiling over.
I don't know, Ivy.
Logan snapped, taking his anger out on his fiancée, which drew the attention of a nearby reporter. Miss Monroe, do you have a relationship with Elena Drake? Logan instinctively tightened his grip around Ivy's arm, a silent reminder that no one other than Logan, Ivy, and Elena herself knew of Elena's connection to them. A connection Logan wasn't eager to make public.
No.
Ivy's tone offered no argument.
We were simply struck by her splashy entrance.
The reporter moved on, confident there was a story to be told, but wise enough to know when the well had dried up. Ivy turned to Logan, fretful.
Elena? On my show? What is she up to?
Logan hated feeling like this. Out of control and in the dark. In his business, you had to know the enemy better than you knew yourself. It was the only way to predict their next move, to get to the edge. When Logan first met Elena, she was a bumpkin from a small mountain town whose wardrobe consisted of thrift store finds. He knew that Elena would wilt under the eyes of this many onlookers. But this Elena was an entirely different woman. She was unpredictable. Her moves couldn't be calculated. Logan's eyes narrowed, his awe giving way to suspicion.
I don't know, but I'm going to find out.
Down the row of gossip rag writers, Elena fielded questions with ease, interjecting personal anecdotes that underscored her charm and relatability. Her laughter cut through the din and chaos of the network event, drawing Logan toward her like a moth to a flame. He grabbed her, his fingers tight around her dainty wrist. The move was meant to scare her, throw her off balance, and force her to reveal whatever game she was playing. But it brought him closer to her than he'd been in months. His nostrils filled with her scent, almond and lilac. Despite his general apathy towards her, Logan always enjoyed Elena's natural odor. It was the only thing he could stand about the woman.
She may be wearing a designer dress and million-dollar jewels, but she's the same bumpkin I married, right?
Elena turned, her expression one of feigned surprise.
Can I help you?
Her voice was filled with a sickly sweetness that turned his stomach, reminding him of the wolves he'd done business with in the past.
What in the hell are you doing here?
Logan hissed through clenched teeth, careful to keep his tone low enough that the surrounding press couldn't pick up on his anger. Her lips curved into a sly smile.
I'm sorry.
Do I know you? Logan's temper flared, and his pulse quickened as he searched her face and began to wonder. Which version of this woman was the real Elena Drake? The meek and mild woman he married, who would never utter a word of disobedience? Or the manipulative vixen before him, who seemed to lie with a trained tongue? God damn it, Elena, don't play games with me. The scent of potential drama wafted through the air like blood in the water as the press swung their cameras and microphones toward Elena and Logan, their questions toppling over one another. Miss Drake, Mr. Bennett, this way. Logan, what is your relationship with Elena? How long have you known one another? Smile for the cameras, darling. Elena's voice was sultry and commanding as she leaned into Logan, the wisps of her hair dancing across his face, her firm breasts rustling against his own toned chest. She whispered into his ear, I'd be careful if I were you, Mr. Bennett. Her breath was warm against his ear, and it sent a tingling down his groin. You have no idea who you're dealing with. Logan's heart fluttered. He was confused, not just with his ex-wife, but with how he felt. He wanted to throw her against the wall. That much he was sure of. But he couldn't decide whether it was to strike fear into her heart or to rip her clothes off and ravage her. Suddenly, Ivy's cheerful voice cut through the tension like a knife. Elena Drake. Her demeanor was a saccharine mask. I've heard so much about you. Ivy pushed her way between Logan and Elena, pulling the latter into a forced embrace. Her eyes flicked to Logan, a silent warning to stand down. With so many cameras trained on them, a public scene was out of the question. If only Ivy knew what scene had floated through Logan's mind. Elena returned Ivy's hug with equal insincerity, her smile never faltering.
So nice to finally meet you, Miss Monroe. You're even more beautiful in person than you are on TV.
To the outside world, the words were innocuous enough, but Logan heard the veiled barb loud and clear. Elena was referring to the affair Ivy had with Logan during their marriage. It was a subtle, devastating blow, delivered with perfect precision, and Logan respected Elena for it. I hate to dash so soon, but I really must go. I'll see you on the stages, Ivy. Elena waved to the adoring press, then turned to Logan, her gaze piercing. And it was a pleasure seeing you, Logan. Before he could respond, Elena had slipped back into her waiting limo, leaving chaos in her wake. As the car pulled away, Logan was a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. Anger, confusion, and, much to his dismay, an undeniable spark of desire. Inside the limo, as it snaked back towards her penthouse, Elena's laughter bubbled over. The night had gone exactly as planned. No, it had gone better than planned. Watching Logan and Ivy squirm had been more satisfying than she could have imagined. At one point, she almost felt sorry for the poor saps. Almost. She kicked off her Louboutins, letting her aching feet breathe. The memory of Ivy's face when they'd been forced to pose together for photos, that tight, brittle smile, barely masking pure hatred, was worth every minute spent in these torture devices. Elena's phone buzzed, drawing her attention to the flood of social media reactions to her red carpet debut. That dress, those legs, give me more. Elena Drake, be my mommy. She even caught another remark from H. Sinclair 22. You are stunning. The comments continued, speculation about her connection to Logan growing with each passing minute. Bro, the heat between Logan and Elena tonight? Ouch! What is their connection? The tea is scalding. Ivy Monroe better watch her back. Each comment fueled Elena's delight. The whispers were turning into roars, exactly as she'd hoped. By tomorrow morning, every entertainment blog would be dissecting her appearance, her connection to Logan, and her mysterious past. The narrative was writing itself, when suddenly, a text from Gus popped up on her screen. "We need to talk about your contract." Marty chimed in on the thread. "And your connection to Logan Bennett?" Elena's smile widened as she gazed out at the city lights blurring past. Let everyone else think they held the cards. Let them believe they were in control. Everything was falling into place, piece by carefully orchestrated piece.